Why Qatar? Why the Gulf countries? Why should a country like Qatar see value in an angel investment network? I would argue that Qatar, like many of the other Gulf countries, has a business sector, a private sector that is dominated largely by big merchant families, established businesses, long histories, access to funding, to finance. The concentration of business and over generations within these families implies that a lot of activities within the private sector, a lot of the startups, a lot of the growth of small companies takes place within the confines of the family business. For most youngsters who perhaps don't happen to be from these families, or might want to try something different from a public sector job, or might just want to develop their own ideas and become self-employed, self-empowered, the family business is not the way in which they will get their ideas supported, funded, or provided the right assistance. Hence the idea of breaking through that layer of restrictions and creating an alternative, an impersonal one, a less family-oriented, less banking-focused way for young entrepreneurs to be supported by many other players. Players who might not be related to them, players who might just be excited about the idea and want to develop it, whether it fits within existing businesses or not. I would argue that an angel investment network in Qatar is one important response for Qatar to an ongoing challenge of diversification, wealth sharing, social mobility, and real empowerment of its citizens, especially the young, whom matter not just for current economic activity, but matter for the transformation of the society, the state, and the private sector. So one can imagine 10, 15, 20 years from now, a society where entrepreneurs have many more points of entry into business, alternative forms of funding, and mentors who don't happen to be relatives or people who are committed to their business regardless of whether that business makes economic sense or not. This is one experiment, one answer, one promising alternative to standard ways of doing business that I think fits within a country and for a country that is trying to do too many non-standard things or do too many things in non-standard ways. Be a global player, seek the purchase of international assets, invest abroad, be highly visible, having Qatari entrepreneurs and non-Qatari entrepreneurs working in Qatar to supporting startups, promising small and medium-sized enterprises down the line is one important venue for economic diversification and economic prosperity at large.